Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, startups, authors, business experts throughout the world. Available on all major podcast platforms. I'm Tom Reaoch, an American known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Vinhedo, São Paulo, Brazil. Today we talk with Jennifer Sienes, and she's joining us from Lewisburg, Tennessee in the United States. Jennifer Sienes is an author, experienced freelance writer with a demonstrated history of working in the writing and editing industry. She's skilled in nonfiction, short stories, literature, proofreading, and she's also the owner of Sienes Publications. Jennifer, what has been the most influential for you in choosing writing as a career?
Well, honestly, I believe the most influential thing has been my relationship with Jesus Christ. But when I started writing, I just wanted to write. I just wanted to write stories. I loved it. But I did not have anything with which to draw from, no emotional issues. And then I had just a season of all kinds of stuff go wrong in my life. And it changed how I viewed writing and what I do with it.
And so that was your input.
That was my input was real life experiences that happened that I wanted to draw from to show the emotion, help people to experience hope, help people experience hope when they go through difficult times. And it became that which drew me to write more than anything else. But story is still key. The books are still key. One of my novels, Illusions, was inspired by my own daughter's car accident and traumatic brain injury and the recovery from that. Although that's not the story, it's just a little portion of it. Mm-hmm. Another one of my stories was inspired by my own brother's suicide. And it was just how does a family recover from something like that? And all the people it affects when somebody chooses to take their own life, and how that, the mental illness that may come from that, the struggle with the children, trying to come to terms with their father leaving them, that whole sphere. So those books were inspired by true events. The series I'm now writing is more fun. There's still some women's fiction issues in there, but it's Southern fiction. It's got that Southern flair, that fun-filled, different tone, different voice, different dialect that comes through when you see a Southern fiction, a piece of work.
That comes from Lewisburg, Tennessee, I guess.
I'm from being here in Tennessee and loving the South. It's just a fun place to be. The people are warm. There really is a thing such as Southern hospitality. Mm-hmm. And I'm just having a really fun time. When you speak to somebody who's really truly from the South, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of different sayings here that are they're fun. It's fun to put that in a book and make it authentic for the reader.
No, that's true, because I interview many people, and what we talk about many times, culture. And the root of culture is exactly what you said. And that could be from anywhere. And people from whatever they are, they have that component. They have those seeds, which start very young.
They do.
And prove that you are from where you say you are.
Yes.
And as you take that forward in writing or speaking or what have you, that's part of you.
That's true.
And so you incorporate all of that in your writing.
I do. And my first series of books took place in Northern California, completely different than Tennessee. Night and day different. So it's been fun to experience that, and to and a little challenging to change the tone and get it right, so I don't sound like some hick. I'm just trying to put it in there. So it's been a lot of fun. So I'm finishing up my second book in that series. The first book launches next month in April.
Very good.
So I'm excited about that. So yeah.
You're not going to launch on April 1st, and that won't be a lie, will it?
April 12th. I'm going to do that April Fool's Day thing.
Very good. No, but that's important. But I think what you bring as an author to people is that people are looking, sometimes if they've been through trauma and they've suffered through the challenges that you mentioned, they're actually looking to read and hear and looking for comfort. And,
yes.
And words have an extreme power of becoming comfort. Words said, but words written. And the ability that you have of taking those words and putting them on and in a scenario where people can understand them, and putting them in the Southern setting, certainly does and will comfort people.
Yes. And my tagline is where crisis and Christ collide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of that thing where you're in crisis, and then where do you go from there? How do you deal with it? How do you handle it? How do you get through it?
And as we've seen recently, that's a daily event.
It is.
We think obviously the life-changing crises that are out there, but every day we can have micro crises. So every day we're challenged. And if you can bring your faith to the forefront with that, that is the help.
Well, sometimes it's that faith that is, that's where it's really tested. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, that's where their faith is tested. And either you're going to draw on that faith or you're going to walk away.
Right.
It's a point of where you got to make that, it's a defining moment. What are you going to do when faced with what seems to be the unthinkable, the unbearable in your life? What do you do?
Several months ago, I interviewed another author, and she had a similar approach as you. And what she said is that Christ, and that she brought that forward, saying that Jesus is nudging you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's real. We sometimes don't realize that energy, then the tap on the shoulder, can be spiritual.
Definitely.
So, and as you can take that forward and help people understand that and use that, that is the comfort.
It is. I believe so.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Jennifer. We're coming down to our time. Congratulations, success on your book and your future books, okay? And thanks again for being with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And for our listeners, you can find more information about Jennifer Sienes, and it's Jennifer, Jennifer. The last name is Sienes. You find her at her site, which is jennifersienes.com. There's a list of all of her books. Sign up for a newsletter and receive a free novella as a gift. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information about them on their site, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.